When you look into someone's eyes, they always say you can see into someone's soul. There wasn't a soul there. Bill Bradford was an absolute monster. The most violent predator that you can imagine. I'm Pam Bozanich. I'm one of two prosecutors who tried the Bill Bradford murder case.
Bradford, during the 70s and 80s, would meet women and convince them that he was a photographer. And sometimes these women were never seen again. I'm Captain Ray Peavy. I'm in charge of the LA County Sheriff's Homicide Cold Case Unit.
Every time I drive through Culver City on the 405 freeway, I think of Tracy and Sherry. Every single time. Sherry met Bill Bradford in a bar, and he enticed her out to the desert where she thought she would be modeling clothes. Sherry had been strangled. She'd also been mutilated. 6 days later, Tracy Campbell disappears. The desert site was his rape and torture and killing field. He killed 2 young women in 8 days. These were not the first. The police went to Bill Bradford's house and they started going through all his photographs, and they took every photograph he had.
A few months ago, my detectives brought these pictures to me, basically like a shoebox full of pictures of women. We want to find out who these women are. Could they have become victims of Bradford?
The detectives put together a poster board of women whose pictures were found in Bill Bradford's possession. It's important to find out who he killed.
6 weeks ago, I made the phone call to LA County Sheriff. Number 3 in your profile is my sister. My real-life sister.
I'm Eva LaRue, and I play Natalia Boavista on CSI Miami. And my sister Nika was photographed by Bill Bradford.
I'm sure that Bill Bradford had other victims.
Obviously, he's a serial killer. We know that he's killed at least 5 people.
Bill Bradford admitted that he killed many other women.
Who are these women?
Exposed.
Here on the set of the hit CBS show CSI Miami, everything may look normal.
You go run my DNA against these samples, please.
I'm sorry.
Just do it, please.
But, says star Eva LaRue, it's not.
Just this one scene just showed to me that this is going to be so much harder an episode than I ever thought.
That's because this episode is based on a true story.
I think these pictures were taken by somebody they trusted.
A story that, to Eva, is painful and personal.
One of those pictures is of my sister.
Were you thinking about your sister, your real sister, when you were doing this scene?
No, I couldn't. In this episode, I'm going to have to be open to what I haven't even been open to in real life yet.
Over 20 years ago, Eva and her sister Nika came face to face with a real-life serial killer.
This is something that happened when we were growing up, when we were teenagers.
It was the early 80s. A period that, with the benefit of hindsight, seems much more innocent than today.
They used to have in Southern California these amateur photo days, is what they called them.
Thousands of girls would show up at these events, all chasing their dreams.
Every little girl wants to be a star, and every little girl wants to grow up and be a supermodel.
Any guy could come up and say, I'm a photographer and I'm going to make you a star, and young girls tend to believe that.
Like Eva LaRue, Alina, Monique, and Tina were all regulars at these open model shoots.
Maybe I could get more exposure, I could get discovered.
You'd go to these events, you had amateur and budding photographers, guys that did it as a hobby.
You're saying that basically anybody with a camera could show up.
Anyone with a camera and $7 is a photographer.
And they were, most of them, pretty nice.
Do you remember Bill Bradford?
I do.
What do you remember about him?
He was not a bad-looking man. He was very approachable, clean-cut, not the persona of what you would expect the bad guy to look like.
Bill Bradford was one of many amateur photographers who showed up at those photo shoots and came away with pictures of pretty girls. He was approachable and clean-cut and had a way with the models. But in truth, Bradford was after something more than photos. He was a serial killer, and a particularly vicious one. He strangled his victims and took body parts as souvenirs.
Bill Bradford was a psychopath of the first order.
Former District Attorney Pam Bozanich says Bradford operated in Los Angeles and other parts of the country from 1975 to 1984.
It turns out that there are quite a few women in this world who were last seen with Bill Bradford.
One woman who was lucky enough to get away is Bradford's ex-wife, Cindy Sue Horton, who met him when she was only 15 years old.
He was going to make a model out of me. He told me I was beautiful. I never felt beautiful in my life.
But once she became pregnant, Cindy says everything changed.
He kicked me down the street. He tried to slam my stomach in the door, beating me up and raping me.
In the 5 years they were together, Cindy says Bradford regularly bragged about hurting women.
He'd come home and tell me that he hurt other people, or he made somebody pay today.
He obviously despised women and spent most of his life trying to punish them.
Bozanich was a young district attorney when she first heard the name Bill Bradford.
This place feels very creepy to me.
The year was 1984, and cops had just discovered the body of a naked woman who had been strangled and dumped in this lot in West LA.
She was wrapped in some dirty old blanket, and her body had been mutilated.
Mutilated in a number of places, including a patch of skin on the woman's left ankle.
Jigsaw John, who was the famous #1 homicide detective, picked up her case.
John St. John, better known as Jigsaw John, has since died. He is an LAPD legend, but initially, even he was stymied by the case. The woman was classified as Jane Doe number 60.
Her body's found July 6th. 6 days later, Tracy Campbell disappears. The last person she's seen alive with is Bill Bradford.
15-year-old Tracy Campbell was Bradford's next-door neighbor.
They went to Bill Bradford's house and they talked to him and they decided to get a search warrant.
Police soon discovered hundreds of photographs and negatives of young women. And one in particular caught the eye of Jigsaw John and his partner John Rockwood. Rockwood zeroed in on a tattoo barely visible on the woman's left ankle. He flashed on the location of the patch of skin that had been removed from Jane Doe number 60. It was in the exact same spot.
They went to Bill Bradford, who is this girl, her name's Sherry Miller.
Using fingerprints, detectives quickly established that Jane Doe number 60 was Sherry Miller.
Bill Bradford had been seen with Sherry Miller on or about the day that she disappeared from the face of the earth. So now they know he's probably a killer.
And Sherry's picture yielded yet another important clue.
The pictures had very distinctive rock formations behind them.
Detectives figured if they could find that rock, they might unravel the mystery of what happened to Tracy Campbell. A buddy of Bradford's led cops out to Bradford's favorite camping spot in the desert.
This is called the Antelope Valley. It's real remote out here, not a lot of people.
Sergeant Dick Adams, now retired, was one of dozens of police officers who, in 1984, traveled to the desert north of Los Angeles, searching for evidence.
We came out here to try and find the location of the photographs of Sherry Miller.
The police set up a command post and fanned out, some on horseback, in search of the unique rock formation. And finally, they find it.
This rock formation up here is where the picture of Sherry Miller was taken.
And within 100 yards of that rock,
up here we found the body of Tracy Campbell, covered with some rocks and brush.
15-year-old Tracy Campbell, like Sherry Miller, had been strangled to death.
We believe this is his killing ground.
It was a place where no one could hear the women scream.
But the killer made a terrible mistake, leaving behind an incriminating piece of evidence.
When they found Tracy Campbell, she had a blouse wrapped around her head that belonged to Sherry Miller.
And that tied the two of them to Bradford.
Yes, he was the killer of those two girls, and nobody else could have done it.
Bozanich was determined to convict Bradford and convinced a judge to tie the murder cases together.
This is why I became a DA, is to put people like him away. I mean, it's just so evil what he did.
Bradford was convicted of the murders of Sherry Miller and Tracy Campbell. Then, at sentencing, Bozanich brought in a parade of women who said they'd been raped by Bradford.
6 rape victims. And he didn't just rape them, he tortured them.
But Bradford wasn't finished with them. He fired his lawyers and questioned the women himself, including ex-wife Cindy Horton, who told jurors what it was like to live with Bradford.
He beat me and raped me in front of my sons. And the last thing he told me was that he was going to kill me.
Pam Bozanich argued Bradford should be put to death, and he didn't disagree.
He got up and told the jury he'd killed other women.
He shocked everyone in the courtroom by telling the jury, think of how many you don't even know about.
When he uttered those words, what went through your mind?
I think that, like some people want to be the CEO of their company or they want to be the executive producer of some TV show, Bill Bradford wanted to be on death row.
Having found the defendant guilty of the crime of murder of the first degree, fix the penalty at death.
The jury did send Bradford to death row. But the question lingered. How many others did Bill Bradford kill? Once Bill Bradford was sent to San Quentin's death row, the hundreds of photos he took of young women seemed to disappear along with him.
No one could find them for a long time. They just got lost in the shuffle. For years, we've been looking for the photos.
Former DA Pam Bozanich, now retired.
You'd like to think that they were cataloged nicely. I mean, they're housed in impossibly small spaces with archaic methods of storage.
By a lucky accident, the photos were found in the summer of 2006 in an unmarked folder in the back of a filing cabinet.
Some of the women were nude, some were actually involved in sexual activity, some were in bikinis. Some actually looked like professional models that he had photographed.
Captain Ray Peavy.
What's the goal?
Goal's very simple. We want to find out who these women are. We want to find out if they're alive. Could they possibly have become victims of Bradford?
These hundreds of photographs are giving detectives another chance to investigate. They've always believed that Bradford began killing in 1975 and didn't stop until he was arrested in 1984. And remember, he taunted the jurors who convicted him, implying there were many other victims out there. Now, investigators are determined to learn how many more.
Where's the picture of the girl with glasses?
It's in that bunch.
Right here, right?
With a newfound urgency, detectives poured through hundreds of Bradford photographs. Forensic artists worked their magic, and in July 2006, the LA Sheriff's Department was ready to attack this massive cold case.
What we have here is a very large group of pictures of women that we do not know, for the most part, who they are.
They released a poster featuring 47 women Bradford had photographed and asked for help in identifying them.
It was a cold case, but tonight investigators are hot on the trail after almost 30 years.
The response was immediate.
I didn't know anything about Bradford at all.
When amateur photographer Larry Gray read about the renewed investigation, he went to the website police set up to look at the women in Bradford's photos.
As soon as I brought it up onto the screen, I recognized two girls immediately, and I thought, oh my God, what's going on here?
Back in the early 80s, Gray was a regular at group model shoots that were held around Southern California.
A model would set up her location, and a group of photographers would stand around in a semicircle around her.
Bill Bradford was at some of those same shoots, but Gray has no memory of him.
I wasn't there really to be looking at the photographers anyway. I was mainly there to be taking pictures of the models.
But it was a different story as Gray studied the photos on the website.
Tina Teese is number 8.
And compared them with his own photos from the shoots.
I was able to identify number 10, Monique Gabrielle.
In the end, he identified 6 of the women on the poster. All of them alive and well.
It was something from 20 years ago in my life, part of my life that I no longer lives.
Hey Leslie, it's Tina at Bloomingdale's. How are you?
Tina Teets was one of those models.
I was shocked. I thought possibly I was mis-ID'd.
Tina, Alina Thompson, and Monique Gabrielle.
On the positive side, this sounds like a great opportunity for young girls to make a name for themselves. On the negative side, I mean, quite honestly, this sounds like flypaper for perverts.
It is. It is.
Using photography to get young girls is as old as photography.
Bozanich says people simply were not as suspicious then as they are now.
We're talking about the early 80s. We have all been through the last 25 years or so where we now know that perverts and weirdos are everywhere.
When you saw that picture, what did you think?
Shocked and wishing that my photo wasn't there. Kind of took me a week or so to kind of like not be so freaked out about it.
Monique Gabrielle attracted a lot of men at the photo shoots, and Bradford was no exception.
I was posing in one of the cars. He said, oh, I want to do a shoot with you one day where I can really shoot and there's no other distractions. I ended up calling him and talking to him on the phone a couple times. Then he said that he was going to shoot for a magazine, a car magazine. He said it was going to be out in the desert.
But when Monique asked Bradford a few more questions, her gut told her something was wrong.
The more I talked to him, he just got a little stranger to me. When I questioned him about the hair and makeup, he kept contradicting himself on who was going to be there, and then he finally said, oh, well, you have to do your own hair and makeup. And I luckily just got like a weird feeling about it and didn't think it was right. And the reason why I'm just emotional about this is because the thought that, you know, I could have gone out in the desert with him.
And Monique now knows all too well that Sherry Miller and Tracy Campbell went to the desert with Bradford and never returned.
1, 2, 3, go! Whee!
Alina Thompson was just 12 when she became a model, too young, she says, to be aware of who might be behind the many cameras pointing at her.
I didn't even consider what their motives were. What I thought about it was, I want to be a model. I want to be glamorous.
For Alina, going to the group model shoots was a family affair. She went with her parents and older sister.
It was good to have my parents there because I didn't know. I was really naive.
But on one occasion, one of the men behind a camera was Bill Bradford.
I was taking pictures with a lot of photographers around me, And he came up to me right in the middle of me shooting and said, I need you to come over here with me and I can shoot you in a better light and I can get better pictures of these guys. So I took off with him. There were some photographers who knew me. They went up to my mother and they told my mother, hey, this photographer just took off with your little girl.
Alina's father, Carl Thompson, went looking for her and found his daughter alone with Bradford in an alley.
And when I was alerted to it, I went over there and I guess I saved her life.
My dad stood next to him and started taking pictures of me like he was another photographer.
And that irritated him, I guess, because he wanted her by himself.
Bill said, excuse me, can you get out of here? And my dad didn't even say anything, just kept taking pictures. And then he got really agitated and he was like, you know what, I'm out of here. He got mad and then he left. I think that was a near-miss situation for me, that, you know, something was about to happen that my father stopped.
22 years later, when the sheriff's poster came out, Carl was shocked to see photos of both of his daughters.
And it really tore me up. I thought, here, this predator had pictures of my girls, and maybe he was thinking of them as the next victim or something. I think about all the young girls that would come to the photo shoots that had no one, no parents with them. Just how many did he end up taking out to the desert?
I look at their faces, I look at the smiling faces, and I say, what was going on in their minds? What was he telling them at the time? And then I look at some of the other pictures where the women actually looked terrified. And I wondered, what was he doing to them? What was he saying to them to cause them to have this look? And was this the last look they ever had?
And now, the case is going places Peavy never even considered.
Girl in the toll booth car, it's my sister.
Most girls grow up with this dream of being a model or an actress.
The dream is an old one.
That's it, baby. Give me 6. Perfect.
Although it looks a lot different when imagined by the creators of CSI Miami. Eva LaRue,
It's clay dust.
an actress on the show,
Like from a clay tile?
says she and her sister Nika had the same dream back in the 80s when they traveled to amateur modeling competitions looking for attention.
It's a big ego stroke to have somebody say, oh, you look like a model, I could really help you. To get the photos from these photographers, you would give them your home address and your home phone number.
That's exactly what Bill Bradford was hoping for when he met and photographed Eva and her sister Nika as teenagers. Years later, it was this photo of Nika that would eventually wind up on the LA County Sheriff's poster. What did you think when your sister's picture turned up?
I don't know how to answer that because I don't think that I was thinking. You are looking at a picture of your little sister, of your baby sister, who is found amongst a cache of missing and unknown girls that came from a serial murderer. I think my head actually just went completely blank.
But Eva did manage to call the police to identify her sister. And she did tell the story to the writers at CSI Miami.
First team stepping in! First team stepping in. Right all around. All right.
It was just unbelievable. It hits pretty close to home.
John Haynes, a writer for the show, used Eva's real-life tale as an inspiration for an episode titled Dark Room. So tell me about the story that you crafted.
Our killer on the show is a amateur photographer, tries to take advantage of his position in locating naive girls, promising certain things and fulfilling their dreams, and then ultimately taking advantage of them.
What you're describing is exactly how this guy Bradford operated back then.
Yes.
All right, let's line up a mark for Eva for her pacing.
Haynes wrote a big part for Eva's character, who learns that her sister has been abducted by a rogue photographer.
Roll sound. Rolling.
What's going on?
The girl in the toll booth car is my sister. Oh my God, we've got to find her.
We will.
It was stunning for me. I had hit an emotional wall in the scene because I couldn't be connected to it, as crazy as that might sound, because I hadn't yet connected to it for myself.
But it's all about controlling your panic. So
You have Eva LaRue, the actor, and then you have Eva LaRue, the human being that actually lived this story. You could see a little bit of conflict with there because she was telling herself, I have to act, but at the same time, these emotions are coming to the surface, which I thought was amazing.
But here's a thought.
Seeing the problems Eva was having, the show's star David Caruso stepped in to help.
David was the one who sort of pulled me aside, and he actually gave me a couple of really great notes.
Let's roll sound.
Whatever Caruso said worked.
Miss Boa Vista? What's going on?
Girl in the toll booth car is my sister. We have to find her too.
We will.
Fortunately for Eva, Bradford never got any closer to her real-life sister Nika than through the camera lens.
I looked like Brooke Shields circa Pretty Baby, like 5 pounds of makeup on my face. It was about 3 rolls of film that he had taken of me.
When you found out that your picture was in his group of photos, what did you think?
It could have been me just as easily as it could have been any of these girls. Because I was there just as they were. I was doing the same thing they were. It's like a sniper in a group of people. That person wasn't lucky, and that person wasn't lucky. It's just whoever's unlucky day it was.
Nika has a small role in Monday's episode, written by Haynes.
Lieutenant, who are these girls?
While I'm not at liberty to discuss the details of an ongoing investigation,
Here we're coming up on our question documents room.
Where are we standing now? This looks familiar.
We're here on the set of CSI Miami, and this is the DNA lab.
Now, you and I have been in a lot of precinct houses over the years.
That's right.
They don't look like this.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
Haynes knows the real deal because for years he was a well-respected detective for the LA County Sheriff's Department.
There was a lot of turf wars, a lot of dope rips that occurred, a lot of murders, and we were out there trying to do something about it. And Bobby and I worked together in South Central and Southeast LA as young detectives in gangs and narcotics back in the early 80s.
Bobby, as in Sergeant Bobby Taylor.
Number 1 has not been identified.
Now in charge of finding the women on the poster.
Number 49 has been identified alive and well. Number 31 has not been identified.
It's another real-life connection between the Bradford story and the fictionalized world of CSI Miami.
Miami-Dade Police.
When you think about it, do you think about the contrast between make-believe and real life?
I do. Sometimes when we're gathered in the writer's room, someone will be, telling a story about something that they saw on the news or whatever. It does impact me in a different way. It was hard to change hats from being a cop and then being a writer. And I used to tell people that, hey, it's not as whimsical as that, and that there really are lives that are truly affected forever.
None more so than the women who fell victim to Bill Bradford. And now, another woman on the poster, who was last seen with Bradford, has turned up dead. Of all the photos on the sheriff's poster, one in particular hits home for Lisa Mora and Lori Duhamel.
She did have a beautiful smile.
A picture of their long-lost mother, Donnelly, there at number 28.
I always remembered, if nothing else, just how soft she was and feeling her next to me.
It's been decades since 31-year-old Donnelly Duhamel vanished, leaving behind two daughters who were 11 and 9.
She dropped us off at my grandma's house and never came back. I definitely cried every night. You know, I really missed my mom. She never came back.
The questions haunting Lisa and Lori about their mother's disappearance resurfaced in the summer of 2006 when police went public with the Bradford photos.
We want to know who killed our mother. That's the bottom line.
The story of Duhamel's disappearance dates back to 1978. On a night when she was out with boyfriend Jake Karcher at a local bar in Culver City.
I was in a place called the Frigate. I was playing pool and she was sitting having a couple of margaritas. She seemed in good spirits. She was talking to people.
Once again, it seems, being photographed was the killer's lure. Donnelly Duhamel met a man in that bar who told her she could be a model. She left her purse, her keys, and her car, and told her boyfriend she'd be back soon.
I was hoping it was legitimate. You know, I didn't want to have her not have an opportunity to do something with herself.
Jake now believes that photographer was Bill Bradford.
I described him as looking kind of like Omar Sharif when he was first starting out.
Jake waited all night in the bar for Donnelly, but she never returned.
I wish I wouldn't have let her go with this guy, or at least go out there, either go with him or have her make an appointment.
After several days, Donnelly's mother went to the police.
Didn't seem like anything was getting done about it. I mean, they posted up a few flyers around Culver City, around where the bar was, and that's all I knew about.
And my mom was gone. Somebody took her from me and I didn't understand.
Years passed, and then, in 1985, police contacted Lisa and Lori.
Do you remember when you actually first heard about Bill Bradford? What did you hear?
My grandmother and I went down to the police station together. This is right when they found all the pictures that they're just showing now. We went down there just to identify that two of the pictures were of my mother.
The police had found the photographs of Donnelly in Bill Bradford's apartment. And Bradford admitted taking them the night he met Donnelly in the bar, according to Sergeant Bobby Taylor.
He indicated to the investigators during that time that he in fact was present at the Frigate bar on the date and time that she disappeared.
The police checked their records and discovered the body of an unidentified woman found in Topanga Canyon about the same time Donnelly went missing. Using dental records and fingerprints, detectives established conclusively that the woman was in fact Donnelly Duhamel.
I was horrified. My thoughts turned to what happened to her and what he actually, what possibly he did to her.
Police still lacked enough evidence to charge Bradford, but he was sent to death row for the murders of Sherry Miller and Tracy Campbell. And the file on Donnelly remained open.
Just kind of fell by the wayside, it seems.
Until the summer of 2006, when Captain Ray Peavy of the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, hoping for more information, included Donnelly's photo on the poster.
When you see your mother's picture on that poster, what do you think when you look at that photo?
It's awkward to be happy to see her. To see your mom no matter what. Just to have her name come up again and to have somebody looking into what happened to her.
Attorney Gloria Allred is assisting Lisa and Lori.
The fact that he is sitting on death row, convicted of the murders of two other young women, should not stop them from trying to get answers and accountability.
After all these years and false starts, the Donnelly Duhamel case is now at the forefront of the sheriff's investigation.
We're absolutely convinced that he murdered her. That's a case that will eventually be presented to the district attorney.
Look at your mommy.
Lisa and Lori, who now have daughters of their own,
That's me and my mom.
are hoping to finally see their mother's killer held accountable.
She deserves to be at peace and, somebody to be convicted for her murder.
There are so many others who want Bradford to pay for all he's done,
It's time. Goodbye.
including this woman who is speaking out for the first time.
My closure was for him to be executed. I'm Jodine Larson, and Bill Bradford is my father.
That's right, his daughter wants him dead. But this woman, she wants to set him free.
I've known Bill Bradford for 7.5 years. I've been his federal lawyer on his federal death penalty appeal, so I know him quite well.
Today, Darlene Ricker is going where few have gone. Behind the walls of San Quentin Prison to visit death row inmate Bill Bradford, and she's determined to help him win back his freedom.
What is Bill Bradford like, in your opinion?
Bill Bradford is a real interesting guy. Real interesting guy. He's amusing, he's funny, he's witty.
How do you explain the fact that he looked at those jurors and said, "You have no idea how many others are out there"?
I wasn't there at the time, and I surmised that Mr. Bradford was angry at the jury at that point and just kind of tossed up his hands and said, "You know what, you guys, you didn't believe me, do what you want with me now."
When you hear him described as worse than the devil, pure evil, what do you say?
I say he's being described by people who haven't met him, who don't know him.
But ex-wife Cindy Horton lived with Bradford for 5 years, and she knows him all too well.
If you gave me a choice to be in a room with Charles Manson, Lucifer himself, or Bill Bradford, I would rather be in a room with Lucifer and Charles Manson than Bill Bradford.
Cindy is one of 4 women who married Bradford. Each of his wives wound up on the sheriff's poster. All are alive. Bradford also has 5 children. One of his daughters talked to 48 Hours.
As a child, I remember him being very doting. Daddy's little girl.
32-year-old Jodine Larson says Bradford was a good father, up to a point.
He loved to take photographs, and we did that often. He was just a good dad.
But Jodine says everything changed after Bradford was sent to prison, where she visited him as a teenager.
All of a sudden, I had what those women had. He was so fixated on talking about it. Show a little of this, show a little of that. You're a foxy girl. You don't say that to your kid.
Bradford's reaction convinced Jodine there is a killer living inside her father, and she cut him out of her life.
It just angers me that somebody can do what they do and have no remorse or no regret and damage families the way he did. He didn't just damage them, he damaged us.
Former DA Pam Bozanich knows the toll Bradford's actions have taken.
The whole thing is so awful and so haunting and so disgusting. But for the sake of all the families and for the sake of those lost souls, somebody has to keep this thing alive.
Number 12, 13, and 14, these 3 women are unidentified at this point in time.
Sergeant Bobby Taylor is making progress.
Number 22, she's been identified. She's alive and well. She's an Orange County woman.
Now Taylor and his partner Sergeant Fred Castro have even more work to do. Scores of additional Bradford photos have only just been rediscovered.
So 23 additional women are going to be added.
With the new photographs, a new poster is created. And this poster features this belt buckle left beside an unidentified woman's body found in the desert in June 1984, not far from Bradford's killing field. Then one of Bradford's ex-wives recognized that belt buckle as Bradford's. It's a tantalizing lead, but his lawyer says nothing will come of it.
I have lived with this case for 7.5 years. I have talked to Bill Bradford on just about a weekly basis, exchanged letters, met with him, spent hours with him, and I know that he's innocent.
Isn't it possible that he's charmed you like the police say he charmed all of his victims?
I doubt it, because I just am not that naive. I gotta tell you, I'm pretty good at judging who's conning me and who isn't, and he isn't.
Bradford's own daughter begs to disagree.
I feel sorry for the people who've suffered. I'm sorry for your pain and your loss. I'm sorry for your suffering.
After the second poster was released to the public, 39 women have been identified. Dozens of others have not been heard from.
This is the quintessential cold case, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Even if they only find 2 or 3 more women, that's 2 or 3 more families who can know what happened to their loved ones. And that's what the police are here to do. They're here to solve crime.
And the police vow to keep searching until they know who's alive and who's dead.